Alright guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at the scariest true Reddit horror stories. These stories are what people have gone through, people have experienced in their life, and we're going to be taking a look at the scariest Reddit horror stories. And these may be true, these may be fake, these may be potentially partially true. God knows, who knows. I'll be the judge of that when I read these stories. I'm very excited to see these, and yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, story number 1. Something tried to share my bed with me. I posted to Uja story. I don't know how to pronounce that. And you all wanted more, so here's a small one that happened recently. March 2023, I moved to States with my boyfriend for his job. We had been together for 5 years. You guys can just pause this and read it at your own pace. Here's the entire story. Well, this may be a questionable one because she did not get scared. It is more of an experience. Well, she's definitely a brave OP. But let's see what the comments have to say. Really fun. Holy shit, this is a wild story. So you could see the indentations as it was being made in the bed. Did you see any movement when it was pressing on or off the mattress? A ghost affecting physical objects in space is very freaky. It is freaky because typically ghosts just go through the wall or whatnot. So that is questionable. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 on the scale of real or not. 6.5 out of 10. There you go. That's a grace point right there. Alright, story number 2. Followed by car on way home. The scary thing about that is the grammar. But anyways, alright, it seems pretty harmless, but here you go. You guys can pause it and read this entire story now. Yeah, so this story is definitely very true. I know a couple of stories that have happened like this in the past, everywhere. It's pretty scary. Like, people have to be careful because there are a bunch of creeps who will just follow you home and weird things like that. So you guys got to be careful. I hope everyone's okay, like Red Dazzler said, and it's a good thing you guys had the guys back home. I wouldn't necessarily lure them back to your house, but thankfully you guys had like a good support system back home where they could potentially beat those guys up. But I wouldn't definitely recommend it. This is a solid 10 out of 10. I totally believe this would have happened. It's definitely sometimes there are men with weird urges, whatnot, and you just got to be careful.
Okay.
All right, number 3. I could not explain it. Don't worry, I will. Alright, here's a story. Pause. Again, this story is definitely very, very true. Like, people under the influence may tend to do things they regret later on down the line. So you gotta be, again, really, really careful. And it's a good idea this person, didn't step out, didn't do a classic horror movie action and, actually go out and take the risk of seeing if someone is there. If they would have, they should have definitely taken like a knife or a baseball bat or something along that line just to protect themselves. And it's also a good idea that you got the dog, and a good thing they had the dog, like Cupcake 1738 380 said. And yeah, it's a good thing they didn't go out. I'm kind of glad they are okay. I mean, obviously not kind of glad, I'm very glad they're okay. And yeah, you just gotta be careful of these druggies, these freaking tweakers walking around the roads and just messing everyone up. Like recently in Vancouver, there were 2 stabbings in downtown, so I don't know what's up with that. So maybe it was a druggie, who knows. Story number 4. Graveyard stories. Okay, you guys can pause this. I'm just gonna read it through. So this story is, I don't know, it's weird. This guy is weird. Whoever went through the story, like who the hell goes to a graveyard for a walk? Oh! That is a reflective walk. Like, who goes there for a walk? Nah. Go to a freaking park, bro. That's reflective. Damn! So the first part of the story, he sat on a crypt and someone knocked in from the crypt or inside the crypt or something. So yeah, that didn't happen. Okay, let me tell you, buddy, you must be high or some shit. Number 2, He started talking to toys. What is this, Toy Story 4? Hell nah. And part number 3, it's not true. I'd probably give this a 4 out of 10. These are very cool stories. Like, it's a cool story, sure. If it's not true though. I call bullshit on that. So 4 out of 10 on that one. Story number 5. I think I had encountered a ghost as a kid. Okay, you guys can pause it. Holy shit. It's a scary story too. In theory, is it true? I don't think so. It could probably be a ding dong ditching story, and I'd give this a solid 6 out of 10. Like, it's what Telenetic said. Yeah, you had a hypnagogia hallucination. They're common and they aren't paranormal. There's also a solid chance these events have been altered in your memory. Human memory sucks and is incredibly fallible, especially over long periods of time. It's definitely most likely that. I don't want to discredit the stories. That's why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It is scary if it's true. It's absolutely terrifying if it's true. But 6 out of 10. Alright, story number 7. Killer encounter. I grew up in a small town. Okay, you guys can actually pause it. I'm reading this. That is pretty scary. Like, this is very, very true. Again, like, people know other people who've potentially done crimes later down the line, and they got the vibe of that person doing that. Like, you just get a vibe of someone being shady or being weird or things like that. And sometimes that vibe can be true. Sometimes that intuition can be true. Like, I'd give this a solid 10 out of 10. Like, you know, coming in encounter with a killer is absolutely terrifying, and you know, it's kind of interesting to see like how you knew that person or how you came across that person, and what if that was you in that position, like how your life drastically changed. So that's a 10 out of 10. It's definitely true, that one. And other story 4 days ago, story number 8. This happened in my basement apartment I lived in with my SO. I don't know what that is. You guys can just pause it. This ain't true. This is a really good horror story idea, but this ain't true. I'd give this a solid 5 out of 10. 50%. Not too high, not too low. Exact 50%. Reason being is because, firstly, there's no way his blue eyes turned to freaking black eyes. And number 2, like, okay, the reason why I've given the 50% is because he had a heart attack, but you know, once he spoke to the orb, it had no answer, and it disappeared. So it's very confusing, the story, I'd say. Let's see what the comments say for this one. Glad to know you're still us. Thanks. This human experiment is a wild ride. Additionally, it wasn't until I lived there I began having serious health problems and almost died from post-surgical complications, but not until I was back in that basement. Damn, that is... Okay, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I bumped it up by 2 points. Potentially true, because there are... I don't want to, discredit the story, because this guy did go through medical complications because of it, from, being in the basement or some shit. So... that is it for today's video, and I definitely think that it's kind of interesting to see what these different paranormal activities people go through. Like, when I was a kid, I was terrified of ghosts and monsters under my bed and Michael Jackson. What? Yeah, I was scared of Michael Jackson, so I used to get these nightmares that he was chasing me around my house and saying he. Bro, that shit used to terrify me. Like, it terrified me so much, I made my own skit on it, like, I think a year ago on this channel. You guys can check that out, but I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.